Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our NCIS Season 18, Episode 1 review. Just, by the way, Jess holding Harley in this video may actually be more challenging than anything Gibbs went through in this episode.
We never, ever get Harley in a video, let alone on our lap, and she's going to leave the minute that she can, and there she goes. Thank you, Harley.
See, there's the cat cameo. We all need a little bit of joy. This is 2020. This is a world without joy. But NCIS, I was so happy to have it back. Like, just the escapism, the ridiculousness of certain moments, of how terrible a liar Gibbs is.
It was so nice to have NCIS back. Like, it just feels like this perfect TV comfort food. And yes, with everything that's been going on, and it feels like it's been forever since it's been on the air. Man, it's nice to be back.
We've got a lot to talk through. I mean, we have the new Horsehead mystery, as I think we are going to coin it.
Horsehead Company.
There you go.
Who are they? What are they doing?
You also have a pretty big question about McGee from the start of this episode. We're going to take you through this journey, and before we do, though, subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss any other NCIS discussion we have going on. We're here for you.
Also, if you don't want to miss any more of Harley Cat, we don't get her on the channel very often, but we do manage to get some pictures up on Instagram. You can follow us over there at Matt and Jess TV.
Okay, the biggest thing I think we have to start with is the Horsehead Company, or whatever we want to call this organization.
Yeah, because it's clearly big enough that this organization has a plane, and it's got their logo on it, which is even more crazy because it's starting to feel like, I mean, this is obviously related to what is going on with Fornell and Emily and this drug ring. Like, it's this big that they have a corporate logo on it. Like, normally you see things, you know, I'm watching Snowfall right now, and it's all, you know, sort of, they're flying low and they're trying not to be figured out of who they are. And here they are with their giant logo and some guys carrying a keychain with the same logo on. It's like, guys, you guys are not under the radar. So it feels like this is an actual sort of pharmaceutical company that everybody kind of knows. Horsehead Company, sure.
First of all, I don't know if I'm buying anything from the Horsehead Company, because isn't this just remind you of The Godfather? Like, I don't think I want. I don't need a horse head with my medication, but also I just feel I am happy they're doing something like this because it's a little bit different and more daunting than, say, oh, here is a random bad guy who is kind of generic in name. It's like, this is Gibbs and Fornell seemingly taking on something that is like $1 billion syndicate.
Okay, this opening scene was crazy. They put out a sneak peek for this where we saw McGee getting missed, shot. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? Like, you guys gonna do McGee like that and do all of us like that?
Yeah.
And then not show who the shooter is? They showed who the shooter was in the first few minutes, and it is Gibbs. So anyone out there that was really worried that all this change with Gibbs was going to soften him up, he is clearly still the cowboy that he always was. He is off the books, doing something with Fornell, who is way off the books at this point. He's loading dead bodies up into cars. It's like, I'll call you later.
Give me 2 weeks. It's like, okay, Fornell, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, at first when I saw McGee running and I saw the sniper thing and I saw the shot missed, I was like, okay, either somebody's giving a warning shot to be like, kind of stand down, or they're like the worst sniper that's ever sniped. So then it was in the leg. I'm like, all right, so this person's not trying to kill McGee, but they're definitely trying to stop him. And if it has to do with this plane, which it obviously does, and this plane is connected to this bigger sort of ring, and Gibbs is off the books, I mean, this is a drastic measure to have to take to keep it all under wraps.
Let's be clear here. Gibbs, he's not even off the books. He is out of the library. Like, he is across the street doing something else entirely. I don't know exactly where all of this is going to go, but the easy theory that I have after looking at some of this is that, you know, this scene, it's set kind of, I guess, sort of in the present and the rest of the episodes in the past. So at some point in between Fornell discovering the horse head keychain and Gibbs in the present doing this, things get really out of hand. McGee catches wind of it somehow. He tries to get involved, and I don't know if this is Gibbs being like, you don't want to be involved in this, McGee. I'm putting you out of you. I'm just like forcibly taking you out of it.
Well, that's the thing, is that it seems like because McGee is there and he's chasing down this plane and he's getting out and he's yelling NCIS and waving his gun around, it feels like the team has clearly figured out something is going on. Now, I don't know if Gibbs is a really bad liar. This is all going quite badly for him. We saw in this episode, everybody knows that this whole sturgeon fishing thing is just a giant steaming lie, and nobody's really buying into it. And while they don't know everything that's going on, they're starting to pick up a couple of pieces here and there, especially Sloane. She's got a little bit of information, but it's really the outskirts of what she needs to know. But I mean, these are all NCIS agents, so if they really want to know what's going on, he's coming back with a black eye that Fornell gave him, then they probably want to know more. And if Gibbs is going to start disappearing a little more, we don't know everything, we haven't seen the whole story, they may be like, okay, we need to kind of follow up on this, because whatever Gibbs is doing is getting too dangerous for just him.
My favorite Gibbs moment of this entire episode is it's him and Sloane have just come out of listening to the music in the auditorium, and they're talking. I think then it's Palmer, who comes out, and he all of a sudden is just like, well, let's talk a little bit more about these sturgeon. It's like, this is the worst transition anyone has ever made. It's like on Big Brother, where you're like talking about another player behind their back, and then that player enters the room, and it's all of a sudden suddenly quiet.
Yeah,
you're
it's like, oh, we're making cookies tonight. Oh, are we? Oh, I really like cookies. Me too. Yeah, it was really bad. However, that moment between Sloane and Gibbs was really nice, and it was nice to have that sort of, she's touching his face, he's smiling. We know that she's leaving the show, but as of right now, that sort of touching type relationship and whatever is going on with them, it is still going on.
How would you have felt if they had revealed in this that they were secretly together? Would that have been like the perfect lead up for you for the end of the Sloane arc?
I already feel like they've been secretly together since Christmas. They at least had something, that's what I feel, happen at Christmas. I don't know if they hooked up. I don't know if they kissed. I don't know what happened, but they were drinking and spending Christmas together. And then that painting came out. It's something has already gone on. That's what I feel.
If they're going to give us flashbacks to this, why not flashback further?
Yeah, no kidding. But it was nice. This premiere did give me a lot of what I wanted. I wanted to see a Sloane and Gibbs moment. I got that.
Yeah.
I wanted to have like some really good action, and watching Torres jump over that car, over the fences, begin running down that whole runway. I mean, I got action for days out of this episode. And then I got Fornell back. I love Fornell, and I love all these things with Gibbs. I got so much Gibbs and Fornell, was so happy.
Can we talk about how I love Fornell too, but I think we need to talk about how terrible Fornell is at his job, because he goes into the doctor's office and immediately he's like, hey there, young woman, I'm going to start asking you a bunch of... Just word to the wise for now. In any part in life, don't go into somewhere and just start randomly asking personal questions to someone.
It's too personal for Fornell. I mean, he's doing that there. Then we see him loading this dead body into a car. Did he kill this person? I don't think so. I feel like something happened and he ended up... If it was an accident, whatever it was. I know Fornell's really fired up and he's willing to leave a trail of bodies behind to be able to get to this, but something in my gut just tells me that he didn't do it, and he's just kind of in a bad situation, that something else happened.
I don't think Fornell did it either. I think they want us to think clearly that Fornell did it. He did say, albeit briefly, to Gibbs that, like, he's not responsible, I guess, on some level, but it's not really, once again, Fornell, not a good move to hang up the phone really quickly when someone suggests you just did something terrible. Like, just take the extra 30 seconds to kind of ease their minds a little bit.
I loved everything with the two of them in the car, and Gibbs, like, pulling out his flip phone and calling him, is like, you got 10 minutes, I'm going to be listening. Oh, his poor Uncle Ed over here being kind of ridiculous. It was great. Their friendship makes my life. I really loved it.
It was fun.
So nice to have him back. I mean, under bad circumstances for Fornell, but
Clearly.
Great to have him back.
Yeah, I'm glad that we got it. I'm glad that they didn't wrap it up either. I feel like this is almost like CBS programming speak when they were like, oh, it's gonna take me 2 weeks. And it's like, oh, that's convenient. It's exactly 2 weeks. I don't even actually know if there's necessarily a new episode airing in 2 weeks exactly, but the writers clearly were like, let's just make it an exact number of days to correspond with the potential episode.
Absolutely, and give me all the Fornell. He's so funny when he was asking about like the tacos that may have been bad.
Fornell investigates everything. I think this is the problem
he
with
does.
him now. He's never gonna leave that. He's gonna like buy the wrong chocolate bar at a store sometime and then call someone and goes, how many peanuts did you have in your Snickers? Because I had 6.
So we didn't get a lot of Torres and Bishop. Yeah, they were working a case together, but we didn't get anything a little more sort of intimate with them. It's been a while since we've really had something with them that felt a little more romantic since the whole sister comment a long while ago.
Yeah.
But we had a really good Jimmy story. If you guys have been watching for a while, you guys know that Jimmy is like one of my favorites. So I was really excited to have a story for him, but not blowing up his car.
Poor Jimmy. Like he had a body disappear from the morgue, which when I saw this in the description, I was just like, how does this happen? Like, how is Jimmy going to be justified keeping his job afterwards? I mean, as it turns out, not really his fault at all, but still, it was kind of ridiculous on paper, but it did play out in a pretty captivating way. Like, in between him nearly getting blown up, him surviving that, us, getting to hear about the NCIS night crew. I like how these shows, like, randomly make up characters like, oh, they've been here this whole time. You just never see them because they're here at night.
Yeah, and then everyone's just happily working along with it. I understand they took her daughter, but she's still a dead body. She was going to cut that person's hand off. Like, Jimmy almost got killed. You're still an agent, man. Like, what is happening here?
Maybe it's because Vance brought up the nepotism thing earlier. You don't want to tick off Vance, which, by the way, Gibbs, you did a pretty good job of ticking off Vance throughout the episode. Everyone else gets clues, and with Vance, it's like, Leon, I gotta go do this.
Well, yeah, I know. What are you going to do? Vance has not been getting the material that I've been hoping for last season, so I'm hoping for more Vance. I really like that character a lot, too.
Yeah, I wish we had a little bit more. I mean, this case itself, this is one of those sort of instances where you have Gibbs and Fornell, and they're always going to, like, surge to the top. And then you have just the premise of a dead body missing from the morgue. Like, that in itself is just, like, so bonkers that you really got to find a way to pay that off. I don't know if this entire case connected as well as I would have liked, because it just sort of felt like, oh, here's this moment that's interesting. Oh, we got to deliver the hand. That's kind of interesting. But the payoff wasn't really actually, like, that much of a firework.
Yeah, that it ended up all being over money. And I mean, in life, most crimes are over money as well. Can we also talk about the fact that they're bringing back the whole sleeping on the morgue table? Ugh, it's so gross. For those of you who don't know, I'm a past funeral director, and I promise you, nobody's sleeping on those tables, even though they're cleaned, thoroughly bleached. I know what happens on those tables. I know this show has people sleeping on the tables, but, like, they need to... This is gross. Like, gross. They need to cut that out. So gross.
I am not a former funeral director, but you know what? I also know that you shouldn't be sleeping on morgue tables. I feel like that's just bad for everyone involved.
No, it's dirty.
It is, but NCIS... They have their quirks. I think that much is clear at this point. Everyone drinks coffee a million times a day. Weird things happen with the morgue tables. We just all deal with it and enjoy this wild show that we're just so glad to have back.
Yeah, overall, yeah, I agree. The story of the week, it was okay. But everything else was so good that it was a great premiere. We waited a long time for this to come back. Yeah. And it was well worth the wait. Like, everything that was going on with Gibbs and McGee and, that whole plane thing and Fornell. I mean, it was great. This was great. Well worth the wait.
The good news is next week, 400th episode. Another big celebration
Yep.
is coming. We hope you guys are ready. But for now, what did you think about the NCIS premiere? Give us your take on the Horsehead Company or Syndicate or whatever you want to call them.
I like Syndicate. That's pretty good.
The Horsehead Syndicate it is. But also, tell us what you just think about this case of the week. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, give us a like, support us further, check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.